Jim Dobie. My grandmother Addie Dobie was one of the first ladies to sit on the Edwardsburg Township School Board. My uncle Bert was a councillor on Edwardsburg Township Council, and I have been on the Township of Edwardsburg as Reed from 92 to 2000, and also the mayor of the newly created municipality of Edwardsburg Cardinal from 2001 until 2003. That's my municipal background. I also have worked at Upper Canada Village for 32 years, retired in 2015. When I went to work at Upper Canada Village, I worked as a seasonal employee 4 days a week. I eventually got to a foreman's position, a supervisor's position, another supervisor's position, until the manager's job came vacant at Upper Canada Village. And there is a board of Upper Canada Village of political appointees, and Gord Brown was the chairman of the board, and Gord Brown wanted me to have the job, and I got the job. Anyway, I'm running for mayor because I think we need a mayor that can work well with council, but also you need a mayor that can work well with county councils. With this whole ED19, the counties are running the show right now, and you need a mayor that can get along with everybody, but a strong mayor that can also represent Edwardsburg Cardinal. I'm also very strong on the roads. The roads have been going behind in years, the roads plans. In 2003, I was paving more roads than they are paving now in 2018, and every year we paved an additional gravel road, which is no gravel roads have been paved since 2003. I'm also looking, I believe in communication on council. I believe I can get any input from the voters. We're going to talk about ED19 a little bit later on, I'm sure, so I'm not going to talk about that now. Anyway, I'll just leave it at that. I'm a pretty straightforward shooter. I don't like to discuss issues over and over and over again. I like to get them done. Thank you.
Welcome everyone. Before I get started, I would like to first thank Pat and Dave, both for taking the time out of their lives to act as mayor and do their best during their time doing that. You know, arrogantly, I never thought the problems of this township would be mine. I started my journey pretty much exclusively worried about a dump affecting my business, destroying my business, affecting millions in private investment in the area. However, over my time, I've done many hours of research, talked to the community, and there's a lot more in this township we need to be worried about. Clearly, I'm not a career politician, nor am I always politically correct. I'm not part of an old boys club. I'm here as a concerned citizen. I come from the world of business. I understand what it means to run a business in today's marketplace, where every financial decision you make is life or death. You know, I may not have experience at the county table, or sorry, the council table, I should say. Hopefully the county table, I will have experience there soon, but the council table, but I have life experience. I can look you straight in the eye and give you a straight answer. I'm not like most of the politicians that are going to say 3 or 4 points and say that's going to fix all of our problems. There are many problems we need to focus on in our township. I believe we need to do the following. We need to unify as a township. We need not to be focused on individual towns or cities. We need to focus on as a whole. We need to truly be open for business, taking our small business program and spreading it township-wide to be focused on all business. But most of all, we need to send a clear message to county that we need not to sell ED19. We have so much potential for tourism in Cardinal. We just need to work together to unlock it. What I want you to do is think about where you want to see this township in the next 4 years. And ask yourself if you're ready for change. Real change. Thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome. It's great to see such a large crowd in attendance this evening, and my thanks to Larry and the Legion and the volunteers for putting on this evening tonight. My name is Pat Sale, and I am the mayor of the township, and I'm asking for your vote to re-elect me to serve another 4-year term as mayor. During the past 4 years, I worked very hard to serve taxpayer interests with 3 main objectives in mind. Good governance at the council table, moving forward with our plan to convert gravel roads to surface treatment while at the same time extending the life of our existing roads, attracting new business and jobs to the township. I believe the council under my leadership has met all of these objectives, and I ask that you judge me on the results. Good governance. Taxes. Council has kept a careful watch of municipal taxes you pay. We can't please everyone with our tax decisions, but we try to adjust the township tax rate so that the increase that you feel is bearable. And we adjust our program and capital spending to fit the dollars collected. About 1/2 of our budget expenditures come from our municipal tax base. Under my leadership over the past years, council now receives and reviews detailed quarterly building reports, long-term debt reports, capital project reports, bylaw enforcement reports, etc. These reports keep council informed and up to date with administrative matters over which they are obligated to exercise their governance. I keep a very close eye on reserve and reserve accounts, which are estimated to increase by about $2 million since we took office in December 2014. The Township Asset Management Plan meets all current provincial standards. It's up to date in every way. We have a 5- and 10-year roads plan, which we commissioned in October of 2016, and which we follow very carefully as we attempt to convert more of our gravel roads to surface treatment. All of our road sections have been inventoried, added to the asset management plan, and evaluated as to condition of the road base, road surface, traffic count, level of service. We are currently compliant with all up-to-date policies, procedures, and bylaws required under the Ontario Municipal Act. Attracting new business and jobs to the township. I think I've been fairly successful. I am constantly promoting the township with my own PowerPoint presentations at official economic development gatherings, such as the Prescott Mayor's due in September 2017, and at the Augusta Mayor's Breakfast in March the 2nd, plus a number of other presentations. I meet regularly with all of our business leaders, Ingredient Cardinal Power, Greenfield Global, Prysmian Cable, HFI Pyrotechnics, etc. I need to know how those guys are thinking and what their plans are. I'm going to make my statement concerning ED19, the engineered landfill. I have heard the message. Edwardsburg Cardinal is an unwilling host. There is no deal with Tomlinson or any other company. There are no negotiations with Tomlinson or any other party. At County Council, I will not vote to sell either the certificate or any land to any private company. I will not support any effort by County Council to raise the funds to open the site, and I will regard my re-election to mean that voters have confidence in my ability to put this issue to bed.
Thank you for coming out this evening. I want to thank Ollie for being here, and thank you, Larry, for organizing this. My name is Dwayne Crawford, running for position of Deputy Mayor for the Township of Edwardsburg Cardinal. I have over 30 years' experience working for municipalities in areas of municipal planning, economic development, administration, and enforcement of the Ontario Building Code, and law enforcement. I am a trained decision maker and problem solver. I'm running on my extensive knowledge as a former director of a municipal planning and development department. Having worked for 30 years in municipal government, I've gained knowledge and experience in municipal planning, including sitting on working groups preparing county official plans, municipal zoning bylaws, and other planning documents. As chief building official, I administered the building code and with my staff enforced the building code and property standards bylaw. Economic development is always very vital for a community and works in tandem with both planning and buildings. To continue to attract development into the community, we need adequate housing, commercial retail, and other amenities to encourage development. Redevelopment of vacant and abandoned or underutilized buildings should also be encouraged. A community improvement program should be created, or if it exists, should be expanded to offer incentives to potential developers who wish to redevelop existing properties. Further, recreation and tourism are vital, and Edwardsburg Cardinal should be promoted as a tourist destination for its beauty and history. Ward 1, Cardinal, in particular, is not what it was like when I grew up here. We no longer have simple amenities like grocery store, doctor, or even banking in a former village. We can no longer even get a simple e-test done at the local garage when we renew our motor vehicle licenses. New residential and commercial retail must be created within Ward 1 and the municipality in total, as it is vital to our economic growth. As your deputy mayor, I would hold town meetings to discuss these needs and work with the community to resurrect them. I am a conservationist and an environmentalist, and I believe the community must come together to create social and recreation opportunities for our youth. Now being retired, I as deputy mayor have the time to pursue these issues and have the experience and knowledge to make sound decisions and work with council setting policy and managing our community. On October 22nd, elect me, Dwayne Crawford, deputy mayor, and get results. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Troy Deschamps, and I'm running to be your deputy mayor in Edwardsburg Cardinal. First, I'd like to say thank you to Larry for running the event, for the Legion for being gracious hosts, and for all of you for coming tonight. For those of you that don't know me, I've pretty much been a lifelong Edwardsburg Cardinal native. I grew up in Walter Street in Cardinal, and in true Cardinal fashion, I'll describe it as, well, right down the street from the bank. Sadly, we all know too well what has happened to the bank and many of our other older buildings. I'm hopeful, with the help of the great people of this township, we can get back some of our old charm. We need to re-energize and re-engage our youth. My wife Erin is daughter to Jackie and Glenn Merkley of Cardinal, and my parents are Charles and Helen Deschamps, also of Cardinal. Erin and I have many family members and friends that are proud to call Edwardsburg Cardinal home. We also have a fantastic 5-year-old son, and his name is Charles Glenn, after both of our fathers. Erin and I moved back to Edwardsburg Cardinal to have the same amazing upbringing that we had when we were kids. Our families have a rich history of community service and involvement, from serving as volunteer firemen, donating time at Benson School, helping with the food bank, and being involved in the United Church, and for my dad and his dad being the president of the local 483 at the Canada Starch. You see, serving our community is in our family blood. My wife Erin has the privilege of working in our MPP and Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing office, Steve Clark. In her role, she helps people get solutions to the various problems in an extremely busy political office. She's rallied to repair the Cardinal Baby Pool and was part of the movement to keep Benson Public School open. Our family connection with that MPP's office has shown us the challenging, consuming, and rewarding political life can be. For myself, I own a small, very successful business in Brockville, and I'm extremely proud to have been an employer to several excellent staff over the past 14 years. I've been on the advisory board at St. Lawrence College. I was Greens chair for the board of directors at the Prescott Golf Club, And for the last 4 years, I've been a volunteer member on our Community Development Committee and the Variance Committee within the Township of Edwardsburg Cardinal. These roles have been very rewarding and very educational for me. I've taken a keen interest in politics and am compelled to help ensure Edwardsburg Cardinal continues to be a place that we are all proud to call home. The lessons I've been taught in business and the connections I have made prepare me for a position in public service. Believe me when I say this, owning a hair salon, I've done my fair share of listening. I am ready to listen to you, my fellow residents of Edwardsburg Cardinal. It's time for some new faces. I'm ready to hear you and your concerns, and I'm ready to be your voice. I believe it's a time for a return to the pride we once shared in this great rural township. I feel that now is the time for me to do my part and to serve our community. I'm Troy Deschamps, and I'm asking for your vote to be Deputy Mayor.
Okay, now we move into question and answers. And I guess we'll start as an extension of what was asked to the councillors, and that's the good old pot issue. When we'll have to make a decision in terms of municipality, whether we opt out or continue on, or just what they do. And you people will have to make that decision certainly after the election. I believe an answer is due by January, as far as I know. So I guess the question is, could you tell us what your stance is on opting out or staying in the program? So I'll start with Dwayne, and we'll just move down the table.
Thank you. The real question about opting out is if you choose not to opt out, you lose the opportunity. But if you opt out, does that mean in the future that you can come back on board and have a shop within your community that is selling cannabis? I think that's the first thing that has to be explored. At this moment, we all realize that we only have partial law enforcement in our community. I think that's something that's very vital. We have to understand that are we going to have problems? Is it going to become a social issue? Or is it just going to continue like Johnny Hunter says, everybody's buying it now, so what's the difference? So if I had to vote on this, I would probably vote to opt out for now anyways.
First of all, just for clarity, seeing my dad and my my in-laws are in the audience. No, I'm not a pot user. But first and foremost, I don't believe that prohibition works. So when it comes to legalized marijuana sales, once it's legal for sale in Ontario, I'm 100% in favor. I believe it's going to be one of the largest economic booms Ontario has ever seen. And I believe that it will be probably the largest economic boom that I see in my lifetime. The pot sales tax revenue generated in the state of Colorado this year will outweigh that of legal alcohol sold. Well, pot's already for sale in our neighborhoods. It's already for sale here. Some people may know, or they may not know, that we are going to actually have a legal pot producer in our industrial park. It's been passed and it will be built. So when it comes to prohibition doesn't work. We've already proven that. 100% in favor of pot sales.
We're in Cardinal, and just before I end my talk, I'm going to ask everyone to give me the benefit of their view on this issue. Let me see if I can frame the issue a little bit better. On October the 17th, under federal legislation, marijuana becomes a legal product for sale in Canada. Between October the 17th and April the 1st, marijuana will only be sold in Ontario through the online sales outlet operated by the provincial government. The question is, on April the 1st, do we want retail sales stores in our communities? So the question is like this. The municipal council, the new municipal council will have to send a message to Queen's Park before January the 22nd, indicating whether or not they want to have a retail sales outlet in their community. Now, the council's choice are they can opt out for a period of 1 year or 2 years, but they still have the right to opt back in at the end of 1 or 2 years. The province has indicated they will give each municipality in Ontario $10,000 up front to decide how they want to use it at their own discretion. So my question, ladies and gentlemen, how many think that we should have a retail outlet in Cardinal effective April the 1st? Please raise your hands. That's good guidance for me. Thank you very much.
And I, like Troy, I'm not a pot smoker. I've never smoked marijuana in my life, but my brother smoked enough for both of us. Anyway, I totally disagree with the new legislation that's coming through that the Liberals are pushing through. I'm against it, but you know, once it becomes law, it's a law. So, look at what's happened to Smith Falls, guys. It's booming now if you read the paper and know what's going on there. These pot people up there, the growers are buying every vacant place that's available up there, old manufacturing plants. And they're actually even boring underneath the roads in Smith Falls to get from one of their plants to another of the plants. They're full. It's booming up there. All kinds of employment. They're hiring every day. Check the Indeed or check some of those sites to see that they're always looking for jobs. It's law. We gotta go with the law. I am totally in favor of a place to sell pot in the township, and I'll even go farther. We need to encourage some of those growing places to move to Edwardsburg Cardinal. Look at the employment, what they would bring. They might as well be in Edwardsburg Cardinal or then in South Dundas or Prescott, because if we don't have a place in Edwardsburg Cardinal where we sell it, they're just going to go to Iroquois. They're going to go to Prescott. They're going to go to Rockville. We might as well get on board now, and if there's any money to be made in the deals, let's get it.
I somewhat echo Dave's points. I somewhat also look at it as from, if we don't opt in, where are we going to get the money to police it? So if we don't opt in, we have to have bylaw and more policing to police the places like duplexes and other places where we don't want kids getting high from, you know, the contact high and all that. So it is a concern. It's not just going to be, you know, we need to make sure it's not on our streets, it's in the right areas. They're not just, you know, walking by people on the streets that don't want to have it in their lungs and all that kind of stuff. So we need money to police it, so we need to invest in it, unfortunately. Like it or not, I guess, is how you can put it. It's law, it's coming, and I definitely think we need to invest in it so we can get money to police it. It's that easy.
Does that mean that you're also not a pot smoker?
I am not a pot smoker. It's not for me.
All right, moving on to another question that is of area nature, and it is a question concerning our illustrious Board of Johnstown. The Board of Management, it's a total public, or should it be total public or total council members? What about the liability of council members? Should it be a separate non-elected membership? And the reimbursement to the current members and the staff. The question is, could you give some insights in terms of the Board of Management as it currently exists? And we'll start at the other end and come this way.
So, I don't have a problem with the question. I feel this is Ward 1 and we should be focusing on Ward 1 things, but I'm happy to answer the question. I feel that the council should have some sort of responsibility in it. If that expands to having a more clear public, maybe have a dual council, a dual type thing where more public is involved in it. There is something going on in that port. I haven't been able to figure it out. There's lots of money being thrown around there in projects that just don't seem to get completed, or the money gets moved somewhere else, or I've reviewed a lot of financial documents there and there's just something there. I don't know what yet, but I really would love to find that out.
When my council purchased the port back in the 90s, it was set up that the board would consist of the council of the time, the mayor, and at that time it was a seven-member council. I don't know, it was 5 members to start off. And they sit on the board. It worked great. The fort has flourished since we purchased it. I see no reason to change the plan right now. I know they have brought in a couple expert type people to sit on the board, which I think is great, but I think the county needs to maintain ownership of the port. I don't know what it's grossing now or netting now, but I would think likely close to $3 million or maybe more a year. So why would you fool around with something that is making that much income for the municipality? I'm not, at the last election, Mr. Seo was wanting to privatize the port, and I really applaud the